Hey guys. All right. So we're back with more Death Battle. I remember them mentioning that this was gonna come up, but I thought it was gonna be later in the month. I didn't expect it. Um I just popped up on my YouTube and was already there. I'm like, oh crap, I gotta record this. I'm kind of excited about this. So Yusuke versus Ichigo. Um I remember the death battle from EA versus Sasuke and how just OP um EA ended up being. And so I'm curious what's gonna happen here. Because if EA was strong enough to like defeat Sasuke, I'm wondering like, you know, is Yusuke gonna like wipe the floor with Ichigo or is it gonna be much closer? It's hard to tell because from what I because I've watched Bleach and I watched, Yu Yu Hakusho. Like, I watched it, and you know what? I know that EA is immensely strong and everything, but I feel like he could always take on sorry, EA could take on Yusuke is what I feel like, so I'm curious to see, even though I know, Yusuke is the protagonist, he had struggles. He had struggles defeating a lot of people in the show. So, um, curious to see how strong he really is. So, curious. We'll see what happens. I'm kind of excited. All right, guys, if you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe. It does help me out. And I do have a Patreon in the description below. Feel free to check it out. It's only $3 a month. All right, guys, let's get started.
Ichigo Kurosaki versus Yusuke
Oh, crap.
Urameshi.
The substitute Shinigami of Bleach versus the spirit detective of Yu Yu Hakusho.
Okay, that was the other thing too. I wasn't sure how are they going to combine them. Like, why?
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find
spirit.
out who would win
That's
a
right.
death battle. Tell me, Boomstick, what happens when we die?
Endless nothingness? Jeez, man, I don't know. We just started.
Our souls are
Right?
ferried by Shinigami, gods of death, in an eternal cycle of death and rebirth.
That was my second guess.
And when a soul goes astray, warped by evil and regret, it's a Shinigami's job to purify such violent hollows and send them off to the realm of the
Oh
dead.
man, I did not know
the Soul
Bleach looked like this
Society.
back
Works
then.
great till it doesn't.
We're
Enter
so used to
Ichigo
HD.
Kurosaki, whose tragic anime backstory came way too early when his mom was killed by a hollow.
That's right. I do remember that part. He was actually 29. I thought he was like a kid. Unless this is like uh, later languages. Well, maybe that's true because I know there was that one Mexican guy, right? And
Reason number one why you
Oh, his
should
name could be
never
red
want
as
your
strawberry?
kid to be
That's
the anime
funny.
protagonist.
Left
I guess
with
it's
his
a hair
grief,
color.
young Ichigo was crushed under the weight of survivor's guilt.
So he lashed out the only way he knew how, beating people up.
But this wound began to heal when he found his calling, upon meeting a Shinigami named Rukia. To
Ah,
stop a
Rukia,
powerful
yes.
hollow, she gave Ichigo her powers, rousing unseen potential within.
Boom! Just like that, Ichigo's a Shinigami.
Substitute Shinigami. To carry out his duties, Ichigo sheds his body for an invisible one made of spiritual matter called Reishi. He can wield vast amounts of spiritual energy called Ryoku and exert it offensively in the form of spiritual pressure or Reiatsu.
Okay, that's a lot of big words, but
Yeah.
all it really means is he's a super-powered ghost.
Right.
With an
They're
epic
invisible
sword.
non-tangible.
His spirit aura is so strong, it can stun lock foes, crushing them under his own power, even fatally.
He controls spirit matter in and around him, hardening his skin for defense and leaping off of invisible footholds in the air. Paired with speed-boosting skills like Shunpo, he can virtually fly.
Say goodbye
Nice.
to the kid who beat up bullies for their lunch money, and hello to the town's new superhero with fellow Ghostbusters, Orihime, Chad, and Uryu. Plus Rukia. It was the Shinigami's
Oh, yeah, Rukia
job
eventually
to tear
got her powers
hollows a
back.
new hole.
While balancing responsibilities at school, of course. GPA comes first, and maybe a round or two of tech.
But it wouldn't be possible
Wow, that should be
without
mentioned
his
Tekken
Shinigami
in the
blade, a Zanpakuto.
That's fun.
It's basically a super-powered spirit that's physically a sword. Ghost sword.
Right.
Though strangely, Ichigo's sword is composed of two distinct spirits, both named Zangetsu, which isn't confusing at all.
Right.
Just call him Old Man Zangetsu and Hollow Zangetsu. Anyway, the double ghost sword gives Ichigo lots of new moves, including his trademark attack, the sword beam to end all sword beams, Getsuga Tensho!
Getsuga Tensho is incredibly powerful, and so effective that Ichigo developed multiple variants. He can fire it as a wave, detonate it mid-attack to act as a barrier, and combine two at once into the...
So I know the show continued at, I think I don't remember. So I personally only got as far as when they stopped Aizen, I think. Maybe a little bit further after that, but not much. So a lot of the stuff that may have said that
even stronger Getsuga
I'd never seen
Jujisho.
it.
To cut
Myself.
even the biggest hollows down to size, Ichigo was ridiculously strong, even from frame 1.
He can make giant shockwaves and parry spiritual light beams from a Menos Grande. And these aren't fake, slower-than-light lasers. Guidebooks confirm they're real light, and the novels say so too.
Plus, early on, Uryu moved so fast that he left his own shadow behind.
But as Ichigo became more involved with the Soul Society, he quickly found that he wasn't good enough.
This Byakuya guy's so fast, Ichigo can't even see him. Time for a good old-fashioned training arc. Hit the music!
Until now, Zangetsu had operated only in its base state, Shikai. So Ichigo learned to release its inner power, a 10 times boost that takes most Shinigami a decade to master. Bankai!
That's right,
His
Bankai.
speed skyrocketed, letting him turn the tables
Forgot all
on
the terms.
douchebag Byakuya. Even in Shikai, he blocked an attack that could destroy the whole frickin' Soul Society.
Because Ichigo's greatest gift is his potential to improve.
Yeah, all
Despite
over
only
that.
being a teenager, he mastered swordsmanship well enough to thrash
Did have
experts
other-
who had been training for centuries. He can quickly adapt to new weapons and styles mid-fight, surpassing his limits time and time again.
Like when he took on Catboy Grimjow. He
Yeah,
was getting clamped,
Grimjow.
but as soon as he heard Orihime cheering him on, that was all he needed to smash that kitty.
You mean Grimjow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but even with that main character energy, Ichigo couldn't match Big Bad Aizen. With
Aizen.
just a finger,
Terror.
Aizen stuffed Ichigo's Bankai and his theme song. Rude.
Ichigo needed to
His
tap
theme
into
song.
his unexplained hollow power.
Yeah.
Except Hollow Zangetsu wasn't going to make it easy.
Old Man Zang's pretty chill, but this guy's a menace.
Still, Ichigo needed his help and conjured a hollow mask to expand his power. But this meant the hollow within only grew stronger.
Masked up, he can fire lasers, bypass super senses, and heal lost limbs. But piss him off enough, and he'll go full hollow. And you really don't want that.
Yeah, full hollow.
Qualification exceeds even Bankai, and was enough to crush Ukiura in a battle that shook all of Hueco Mundo,
Ukiura
the
was-
world of hollows.
Full hollow Ichigo could even tear through all 3
also
layers of hell.
But with help from his secret Shinigami father, Ichigo continued
Yeah,
to train
that too.
for months.
Yeah, I'm
in
just
the
remembering it all
Dangai,
as I'm
a
watching.
corridor between dimensions, until he was finally ready to challenge Aizen.
Challenge is an understatement. He manhandled Aizen, shattered mountains with sheer
Yeah,
aura,
this was
and
it.
flexed so hard he smashed out of the black coffin, which crushes space like a mini black hole.
And yet, it still wasn't enough. So by becoming Getsuga itself, Ichigo unleashed his ultimate attack, Mugetsu, defeating Aizen at the cost of all his power.
Right.
He might have saved everyone, but now it was back to Normieville.
Ichigo never truly realized until then just how much being a Shinigami meant to him. The power to protect others, his drive, his pride in himself was gone. He would give anything to get it back.
And he did, thanks to a surprise assist from Rukia. Boom! Shinigami again!
Just in time for a 1,000-year blood war with a final endgame boss, Yuhabak.
Who planned to end everything. And while other
Okay, yeah, so
Shinigami
this
tried
I
their
know
best,
nothing about.
only Ichigo was special enough to pull it off.
His father was a Shinigami. His mother was a member of the ancient Quincy's and possessed by a hollow. Hence, his two Zanpakuto spirits, one Quincy, the other Hollow and Shinigami, made Ichigo a perfect union to break Yuhabak's plan. Finally, Ichigo understood himself, fully unifying with both Zanpakuto spirits within. With that came a new Shikai and 2 new Zanpakuto.
True Shikai! If you thought Ichigo was strong before, oh boy, he's the strongest Shinigami alive. Or dead. Undead? Yeah.
Stronger than Kanbachi, who could split the Dangai in half. Stronger than Senjumaru, who shook heaven and earth across the realms, and strong enough to match Yuhabak even after he
They didn't
absorbed
use
the
this
Soul
stuff
King.
when he fought
Juiced up
Naruto.
with Soul King power, Yuhabak could nuke all 3 realms: the human world, Soul Society, and Hueco Mundo, plus the Dangai and Garganta in between, which have a bunch of pocket dimensions sprinkled in. Hell, just the Soul King's corpse sent a shockwave across all the realms.
And it's not a matter of disrupting the flow of souls. Yuhabak was going to end everything through sheer power alone,
But Ichigo still wasn't done powering up.
entering a new half-hollow form and merging his Getsuga Tencho with a mighty hollow attack, the Gran Rey Sero.
Making a giant
So
crescent
cool. I
slash
kept
that
on
ripped
watching.
through space itself.
All that power culminating in his true Bankai, a power so great, even Yuhabak was scared of it.
Joke's on you! Ichigo didn't even need it!
Really?
You're
Wow.
done.
Ichigo was finally content, and 10 years later, he remains a Shinigami, having found the courage to
Oh,
stand
okay,
on
that's
the
why he's
edge of
29
life
now.
and death, conquer his fears, and walk onward.
Nice.
Most teenagers have no idea what they want to do with their life. However, that was hardly a problem for juvenile delinquent Yusuke Urameshi, because he only ever wanted to do one thing.
Throw hands! It don't matter who the ops are, be they women, old folk, or babies.
He fights with even babies. I think they're talking about the baby that prince or whatever. I think. Yeah, Genkai was crazy. Like Virtual Fighter, that's funny. There's a connection with fighting games.
Yusuke lived to fight.
Yeah,
It's
the
what gave
original
life
shonen
meaning.
trash
Who
talker.
cares about stupid things like friends and family?
Which is why it was so surprising when one day he threw himself in front of a speeding car to save a child, bringing that reckless life to a screeching halt.
Truck-kun claims another victim.
Truck-kun.
But this is
Yeah,
chapter
I
one of a
recently
battle
heard about
shonen, so
Truck-kun.
death is hardly the end.
Surprisingly, though, it wasn't a spooky skeleton in a hood who arrived to claim Yusuke's soul. It was a blue-haired anime girl on a broomstick.
Yeah.
This was Botan, whose job was to ferry Yusuke's newly deceased spirit off to the afterlife.
Unfortunately, or I guess fortunately for him, he was such an asshole that the underworld didn't see his selfless death coming and didn't have any space prepared for him. Imagine being such a menace to society that the second you do something nice, hell itself gets caught with his pants down.
So the
That's
underworld
funny.
surrogate king, Koenma, offered
Yeah,
Yusuke an
Koenma,
alternative.
that's the guy.
He could return to life as an agent of the afterlife, a spirit detective, solving supernatural crimes and fighting off demonic threats to humanity.
Naturally, Yusuke did what anyone would do in that situation and told Satan Jr. to stuff it. I mean, he was
Yeah.
never really good for anything and no one was gonna miss him. So what's the point of coming back to life? It's not like his mom would be sad.
Oh, yeah,
or
his mom
childhood
was
sweetheart
really
Keiko
upset. I
would be
remember that.
heartbroken, or
Oh,
even
he had
rival
such a kick-ass
Kuwabara
mom.
would shed manly tears.
Ah.
Oh, man.
At the sight of loved ones who cared far more than he ever expected, Yusuke had a change of heart and accepted Koenma's offer, returning to life with a new purpose and a new job.
And newfound ass-kicking ability. In his quest to beat the dog
Yeah.
shit out of demon kind, Yusuke learned to harness Reiki, or spirit energy. He's ridiculously strong, fast, and durable, heals from wounds quickly, and
Yeah.
can see spirits invisible to mortal men.
Even early on, Yusuke could parry Suzaku's lightning arrows, which are formed from real lightning called down from the sky.
Oh, wow.
And with the help of legendary warrior Genkai, he mastered a signature move that could blast
Yeah,
anyone to smithereens.
spirit
My
gun.
favorite shonen move ever, the Spirit Gun.
That was so
At
cool.
first, Yusuke had a limited
Such a
number
cool
of shots,
move.
but eventually
Such a
he
simple-
turned it into his personal WMD. Stronger than any weapon on Earth, he could go finger blasting around as much as he wants.
The spirit gun is more versatile than it appears. Yusuke can bounce it off surfaces for sneak attacks, propel himself around like a rocket in flight, and produce massive explosions with each shot.
He can twist it up for a Spirit Shotgun, a mighty AoE blast, or a Spirit Punch, where he keeps the energy stored in his fists and clobbers the hell out of you. And the Spirit Wave, a Kamehameha from before we uncultured Americans knew what a Kamehameha was.
Yeah,
Yusuke may
very
be
true.
a punk, but he's deceptively skilled and cunning in battle.
He's not afraid to fight dirty. throw in his shoes, using sleight of hand to place cigarettes on his foe to track them in the
Remember
dark.
that when he
Personally,
did that.
I'd call that smart. And his
Yeah.
hand-to-hand is A+. He's matched experts like Cabano, who's said to have mastered all forms of martial combat.
But his best secret is how quickly he improves.
Yeah.
All it takes is a round of
Fast.
training or someone threatening his friends, and Yusuke's power will spike to match stronger enemies, even if it means literally burning through his own life force for a power-up.
All known demons and demon fighters are individually ranked on a scale of power from E to S.
E and D class demons are nothing special. We're talking local threats at best. C and B are getting a bit dicey in a destroy your city kind of way. A and S? Well, hold on to your ass. We're talking end of the world.
As Yusuke forged bonds with new allies, like demons Hiei and Kurama, as well as his
Yeah.
old pal Kuwabara, he found himself facing opponents he couldn't beat,
Right.
such as the monstrous Taguro, who could
yeah.
vaporize weaker
Taguro,
demons and
that's
crush
the
their
dude.
souls with sheer aura.
But Yusuke needed to survive and protect his loved ones, so he had no choice but to rank up, even if it meant absorbing the power of a small star. Thanks, Genkai!
Our sun has an average luminosity of 380 septillion watts, or joules per second. Small stars like red dwarfs output about 1/10,000th of that. So this spirit orb's energy per second would equal about 9 million megatons of TNT.
Enough to send Taguro to the grave.
Even after pushing past his own limits, Yusuke would still need more power to face S-class threats like Sensui, a past spirit detective gone bad, and a great measuring stick for what top-tier demons are capable of.
Sensui was so yoked he couldn't even use all his power in the human world without threatening to bring down the whole thing.
Yeah.
He compared destroying
This
the
dude was
whole
crazy.
goddamn planet to kicking an anthill.
According to Genkai, Yusuke could destroy the planet too, if he really wanted. And even A-class threats like
Wow.
King Enma have shaken both the demon and human worlds.
That anima guy is strong as balls. In the past, he fought the Netherworld King Yakumo, who could eradicate the entire human world and remake the Netherworld.
But Yusuke's power surpassed both of them to the point where he overloaded Yakumo with his own energy. And do keep in mind, Yusuke was still only A-class at the time, a far cry from S-classes like Sensui, whose sacred energy was 10 times his superior.
But not for long, sucker, because turns out Yusuke was a demon himself.
Literally. Yusuke is the descendant of an ancient and incredibly powerful being, one of the strongest in existence, Ryzen, the Demon King.
Yeah.
With his Mazoku mark, Yusuke can channel Ryzen's spirit for a huge power boost and a massive thirst for murder boost. This was his first taste of a dangerous new type
Yeah.
of spirit energy,
Kicked his ass.
Yoki.
A form of energy used by demons. Like normal Reiki, it can be amplified by intense emotions. Unlike normal Reiki, its use creates a pleasurable feeling, feeding into the user's rage and bloodlust, the feral animal within.
So Yusuke upgraded his spirit gun to a demon gun.
Yeah, I remember
it's
that.
the same thing, but red. Oh, and it's strong enough to blast Sensui past the horizon, putting Yusuke's power firmly in S-class.
And making him a prime candidate to rule the demon world. But as he was thrust into a tournament vying for that throne, Yusuke began to wonder if all this power was what he really wanted.
Self-reflection? From I'll kick your ass, Yusuke Urameshi? Nah, we can worry about that later. There's a tournament to win. Which one of you, girl, baby, or grandparents is first?
Even then, as Yusuke took on the Demon King Yomi in an epic final battle, he was still growing. He had become far stronger than before, even achieving a unique version of the Mazoku form separate from Ryzen's influence.
And a brand spanking
Yeah.
new form of power. Kinda like Sensui's sacred energy, but even better. It's so unprecedented, it doesn't even have a name, but it's golden glowy.
Strong enough to clash with Yomi, creating an explosion that split the heavens above and decimated the Okunin tree below, pushing the Demon King himself to his absolute limits.
But then, Yusuke lost. It's not all bad though. Even if being king would have been cool, Yusuke realized he wanted something more. He'd grown up
And he didn't win
chose
that tournament
to
at
walk
the
a
end.
new
God,
path.
spoiler,
It was
sorry.
always
Well, you
Yusuke's
guys are watching
connections
this.
with others
They
that
just
motivated him above all else. And it was in those connections that he found his happy ending.
But I wouldn't piss him off if you can avoid it. Get him in the right mood or threaten the human world, and the spirit detective will beat your stupid ass.
Long has its return been foretold, but now, finally, it is reborn.
The original Death Battle shirt that once dominated the world.
hey.
Hell yeah, there's no better way to wear a blood spatter on your chest.
We've restored the original shirt with even better materials, and we've run
Right. So
the data through all.
I don't know, man. My original bias was Yusuke, but they really went all out with Ichigo, just because like has just the feats that I'm hearing seem really good for um Ichigo, but and I'm such a fan of Yusuke. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Yusuke. Let's go. Come on, Yusuke.
Possibilities.
It's time for a death battle!
That's a demon.
That's hollow.
Damn.
No doubt about it.
Wow. Another like inner thing.
Spirit guide. Getsuga. Tensho.
Nice. Yeah, not one-on-one. You need your sword back. Ichigo. Get that sword. Aim for his crotch? Wow.
No match.
Hollow.
Chump change. Reckless idiot. What a baby. Little demon energy got you scared.
Oh, this is so cool.
Getsuga. Yujisho. Two at once? Damn. Why didn't I think of that?
Give in to me, Yusuke. Let's devour him together.
Oh, wow.
Hell no! This is my fight, jackass! You just hold me back!
Damn.
Yeesh, rude awakening. This one's a piece of work. Need a hand, partner? Let's do it. Like old times.
On time! Tensa! Sangetsu!
So cool. I don't know.
That's the best you can do? I can go even faster if you'd like. Hell yeah! Bring it on, asshole!
That's funny.
I'll kill you even if it kills me! I'm putting it all on the line! You better do the same! Screw that!
Damn. I can't tell.
Freaking break.
Dang it.
See you on
Oh,
the
well.
other side.
It was really close. It looked close, at least to me. Just to make
Think the
myself feel
afterlife
better.
offers frequent flyer miles?
There's a lot to cover here.
Looks so
let's
good.
break
That was
this
still
down
fun.
into 4 chapters, starting with their abilities.
Yusuke could see Ichigo no problem, and resist auras like Togoro's that are similar to Reiatsu, so Ichigo couldn't cheese a win right away.
Otherwise, Yusuke was outmatched. Sure, the Spirit Gun could potentially match the Getsuga Tensho, and he had stat-boosting forms like the Mizoku. Ichigo, however, had more varied powers, a better healing factor, greater stamina given his months of Dongai training.
And all those swords, he just had way more abilities to
Right,
play
I can see
with.
that.
Likewise, speed was a fairly easy call. Yusuke could react to lightning early on, and obviously got much faster over time. Looking at this blast from his clash with Yomi, it erupted upwards at 57% the speed of light.
But Ichigo was faster than light from the start, and he's gotten faster too. He couldn't even see Byakuya at first, but blitzed him in the rematch. Plus, he's got tons of training and power-ups since then.
The Soul King Shockwave, for example, expanded across the realms at thousands of times light speed, and Ichigo reacted to attacks from Soul King Yuhabak that utilized the same power. So, Ichigo takes speed. But Yusuke's fought plenty of foes faster and more varied than him, so it's extremely important to examine their tactics and ability to adapt mid-fight.
This is kinda both their things. Ichigo has styled on guys with centuries of training and has over a decade of experience as a Shinigami. He's pretty good at figuring out new weapons and styles.
Meanwhile, Yusuke was flexible and quick to adapt, mixing cleverness with exceptional hand-to-hand. He's good enough to match Kabano, who mastered every martial art. Ichigo's decent at hand-to-hand, but it's not his go-to in the same way.
So, both had their strong suits, with advantages on each side. It's fair to call this one a draw.
Leaving only the biggest winning factor, which could have superseded all other advantages: power.
Between Sensui, Genkai, and Enma, Yusuke could definitely destroy the planet. Examining his sky-splitting clash with Yomi and measuring its scale, that's about 4 quadrillion megatons of TNT, which is crazy.
Similarly, mid-series Ichigo could shake Huecomundo, tear through hell, and block attacks that could destroy the Soul Society. But at his peak, he beat Yuhabak, who could destroy several realms, which is far more impressive than just
that
one.
was the thing that I was thinking about.
Yusuke
I'm like, crap,
Yakumo,
the realm destroying
who could
thing.
threaten 2 realms at the same time, pretty close to Yuhabak's threatening 3.
And Yusuke far surpassed Yakumo afterward. The gap between him and Sensui alone was 10 times. So there could be an argument for Yusuke's power surpassing Ichigo if 3 realms was truly Ichigo's limit.
Fortunately for Ichigo, it's not. Yuhabak was also going to destroy the Garganta, which has at least 29 pocket dimensions inside it.
Each containing at least a planet and star, much larger than Yusuke's planet-sized worlds. Plus, Ichigo matched Yuhabak in True Shikai, without his additional boost from Half Hollow and True Bankai.
As always with Death Battle, there's arguments either way, but the way we see it, even being generous with Yusuke's power and conservative with Ichigo's, the gap was just too big, giving Ichigo the final edge.
Wow.
Sorry if things
Way too
got
much.
real
Okay, there was the
messy,
other way
but
that
that's
Ichigo
just
did.
how
Yusuke didn't stand a chance.
Ichigo Kurosaki.
Wow.
Next time
Ooh,
on
let's see who's
Death
next.
Battle.
Oh, Metal Sonic. Oh, and Cell? Hey, that's gonna be cool.
Subscribe and join as a member to see more Death Battle. Thanks for watching.
That was actually really cool. Nice. I'm kind of excited for that one. I got it wrong. Oh well, it's fine. I'm just playing it for fun. I'm not really. This is like the 7th or 6th or 7th Death Battle that I finally got a chance to record because I've watched all the previous ones. So I've already lost count how many I got right or wrong. It's still fun to guess. I got it wrong, but it's okay. So cool. And it was good to revisit. I like it. You know, it's been such a long time since I watched both animes, so it was kind of cool to relive. Excited. All right, guys, that's it for this one. See you guys next time. Bye.